Alright, hello, this is mysticjuicer, back with some more Yomi action. This is my second set in IYL Season 4 versus AhhDee, and I'm going to start off with Rook. Had a little bit of a look at what he'd played previously, and it was mainly Onimaru, so I'm quite happy to open Rook against that. I feel like this is a very, very even matchup. For both of these characters, maybe slightly advantaged Onimaru. Starting off, opening hand, kind of an awkward one. I've got no blocks, except for my 5. Run my 7 immediately into a single ace, so not a great start for me here, and I don't have a ton of protection. Yeah, don't have a ton of protection against a possible immediate face card here. Yeah, still no. I'm really hunting for a 9. 9 block is an incredibly valuable card in this matchup. Given that I have no blocks, I'm going to continue to be aggressive and try to poke out the other side of the mix-up, the Clockwork Soldiers mix-up, which is just high normal attacks. Figure I've got a good chance of finding a face card there and instead run a block immediately into an 8. So not a great start here. He continues to have pressure off of Clockwork Soldiers, and I'm already down about 9 health. I really like this matchup just because it's one of those matchups where you're just flinging like 15 to 20 damage at each other throughout the entire set. There's like no tremendous, burst damage. Rook has burst damage off his Checkmate Buster, which is kind of hard to hit, and then Onimaru has burst damage off of his Clockwork Soldiers, which is also, you can play around that mix-up as Rook quite well, because you don't actually have any option to dodge, which would, which is the other way of dealing with that threat. But that doesn't get rid of the Clockwork Soldiers. So I've got him knocked down. I figure it's fairly likely that I'm going to see a 5 attack, so I play the Jack, trade 4 damage for 1, prevent the Clockwork Soldiers from attaching. Life totals have evened up, and I've drawn an 8 block, which is okay. Again, it's still I'm still going to lose to the main things that Onimaru is going to play for Guard Crush, so an 8 or a 10. And there we go. He's been really getting me. Yeah, he's been really getting me. Credit where credit's due. He's really been nailing me with the Guard Crush plays. So I go down to 60. Still within healthy reach here. Still no 9 blocks. I've got my 3s. I've got 5s. 5s I can probably start spending here if I'm expecting more Guard Crush normals. Just 10 damage for a single card. It's basically a throw, except it doesn't knock down. So still in that range where I need to be. I need to be thinking about blocking face cards or poking out high normals. And AhhDee playing pretty patiently, actually, nicely building a hand when he feels comfortable. As Rook, what I really need to be doing in this matchup is getting to 12 cards, and then rock armoring a lot. Rock armor is an incredibly good tool in this matchup, and it's what makes it a close to even matchup, in my opinion. So 10 card Onimaru. Okay, poke out a 10. Quite happy with that. Gonna combo this into 4, 5, 6. I have to consider whether I want to respect that, but getting the ace is fine. At this point, I have 3 silent aces. Even if I power up now, I have a good shot of threatening with or being able to mix him up with Checkmate Buster. Still no great, no good blocks in my hand. Like, I really need another 8 or a 9. Preferably a 9, because the 9 only loses to 10s, and he's already played 2 of them. Special block a dodge. Not a great trade for me. I really need to be getting as much value as possible out of those. Find the 9. And with 2 10s in the discard, I figure this is fairly safe for me to play at this point. I still don't have the high hand size to be able to pressure with rock armor. And I get a nice block off against a Jack. Jack likely signaling that he has not only a second Jack, but also a final authority in hand and is willing to play it at this point to extend the lead. If he puts me at 40 to his basically 80, that's a lot for me to have to come back to, or to come back from. Part of the difficulty of this matchup is, because it's such a grind from both sides, hits me with the other 10. So really nice timing there. Unexpected 10, definitely, from my side. Yeah, part of the difficulty of this matchup is, because it's such a grind, if you do get far behind, like I am right now, it can be incredibly difficult to come back into the match. So I've got my 4th ace. I've only shown him that 1. I have the possibility of getting Checkmate Buster here, but with an 11 card hand, I don't think it's extremely likely that I'm going to hit this, unfortunately. What I probably should do, given that the typical response, I'm chanting please dodge there. Yeah, the typical response is for him just to play a queen. With Final Authority as backup, if he doesn't feel like trading 10 damage for 20. So probably should have played it a little bit safer, put the 5 out there. Managed to get 2 aces back. Yeah, that's the nice thing. I mean, that's why I play both of these characters and love playing them so much, is the mentality, I think, is very similar with both of them. I should probably just block here. Again, it's with a 10 card hand, I think it's fairly likely that he's going to go for another Final Authority play. At this point, he now switches to dodging, trying to extend the value of his Final Authority, trying not to play any of them if he doesn't have to. Dodge is just as effective at dealing with Rook, because the downside of losing a dodge reveal for Onimaru is to take 10 or 15 damage at this point, because Checkmate Buster isn't real. Whereas, you don't want to go too low on face cards, and you can always Final Authority later in the game. Okay, so I think at this point that is all 4 10s. And I once again have Checkmate Buster. It is basically the only way I'm going to get back into this game. Either by hitting Wall of Vines twice, or landing Checkmate Buster. Yeah, with 19 hit points left, I expected that Jack would be fairly likely to come out. Probably 100% likely to come out if he had it. Especially with 10s no longer being an option. I have him knocked down, but I have no blocks, and it's actually very likely that I'm going to see a Final Authority play here. So I've got to consider how I'm going out. I can try for the 10 as a rock armor play, because it is not going to kill me. Yeah. So very few things. He would have had to play ace-ace, or 3 kings to be able to kill on that turn. So I figure let's put the pressure on, to the extent that I can. I'll deal this, possible 20 damage. Yeah, Joker comes out, and that's basically game. Unless I draw another block this turn, and even then, throwing. I mean, I don't think he'll throw from this position, but throwing isn't even that bad. Should consider playing aces, but it's almost guaranteed that he's going to play a Final Authority backed face card on this turn. Really no reason not to. With known Checkmate Buster and 3 mystery cards in hand, and me at 4 health, if he's got 2 Final Authorities, this is checkmate. Yeah, finds the king, and is going to close it out. So well played. Commanding first game by AhhDee here. So I've got to try to reevaluate. Had kind of an awkward hand to start. It can be really difficult to make something of this match if you don't start with normal blocks, and especially if you don't start with a 9 in hand. So again, no high blocks again. It's kind of rough. And I ran directly into an ace the first round. So I'm trying to poke out a high normal. Get queened instead. It's fine. Life evens up. Yeah, rock armor isn't real at this point. Okay, we find an 8. Choices between 8 block, 4 attack, or throw. He is on 6 cards, so throw, I should be more mindful of throw as an option. Yeah. Onimaru actually does he is rather card hungry for a character that has only can't combo moves. Yeah, so if you can manage to play through the early game without getting too hurt, you might be able to put something together, and that's a really bad start for me. Losing a special block, remaining at 8 cards in hand, Onimaru at 10. Things are now really quite difficult. I don't know why I'm considering blocking with a 2 here. Yeah, it seems very foolish. I mean, I'm surprised to get thrown. So I'm thinking, okay, so he probably doesn't have any high normals at this point. As a result, I want to play around face cards. Okay, so yeah, he tried to go for the value trap. I managed to punish him for 20. Still fairly even game. I need more cards in hand, though. I should strongly be considering an 8 block here. Other options in hand currently are Jack 7-8, but again, that takes me further away from my goal. If I hit with a Jack, and if I play a Jack and hit with it, I'm probably going to combo only into the 10. Oof. Another block thrown. Really awkward. So he's playing, AhhDee's playing a more throw-heavy style of Onimaru than I'm used to. Using the throws in the early game to try to remove high blocks from my hand, and therefore more effectively force me into a slow normal attacks like this one. or put me in a position where his high normals can just guard crush if I do decide to play a blue card towards him. Still in the same position as last time. I should be considering... I'm chasing at this point, but luckily am rewarded as my 8 is able to block out the 5. So it's fairly likely now, I feel, that he had just drawn the 8, that he didn't have it for very long, and that he doesn't have any more high normals. And unfortunately, I was either wrong and he's just choosing to space them out in this way and play some value trap-like options. Once again, working on a really, really nice lead over me here, which is quite awkward. Find a 9 block, so I can choose to start doing stuff with that. I need to start being careful. If he's got 2 jacks and a final authority, he can bring me down to 26. Doesn't even need to do that now. I'm definitely eating a lot of damage here. I choose not to face down. Take 20 for the exchange. And now I'm in Onimaru's endgame, which is incredibly powerful. Try to go for the very unexpected throw. Managed to land that. Because I need to get back into this, and I can't just let him get blocks and dodges for free. I also want to avoid the possibility of getting thrown for 15 off of a 7, which would, again, just bring him that much closer to... I mean, he's only played a single face card at this point. So it's a very, very, very scary situation for me. The things I have to defend myself are a jack and a 9 block. Jack is going to beat basically all of his options. Oh yeah, and 5 blocks, of course. Yeah, so I don't put my pedal to the metal on his knockdown, and get, as a result, no payoff off of that advantaged state. So AhhDee playing very calmly. He's got the lead. He can afford to play a more defensive style and just squat on that lead until he has the options he wants to be able to be aggressive with. This is probably, yeah, playing the 7th row there is probably too aggressive, too risky. I should be playing a little more turtley. Just block my way to more aces, and then try to block my way out of final authority plays to beat aces. I haven't checked his discard for a while now. Yeah, no, why would you 10 here? The only reason I would 10 here is if I had like the strongest possible read that he has a queen. There's really no reason to play that. Yeah, the jack is so much more likely. Even a normal of any kind. No reason for him not to follow up here. Yeah. And quickly takes game 2. So a couple of pretty significant mistakes on my part in the late game there. Not sure exactly what I was thinking. The consolation pack does a little bit to lift my spirits. So what I realized as I was coming to the probably about now in the set was that I haven't really been, or at least looking back on this set, I really wasn't being very careful about looking at his combat reveals to identify what's likely in his hand. I'm just kind of playing by feel, and that's not... I mean, in this league, with the people that are in this league, it's just not something that you can afford to do. Or at least not something I can afford to do. It's not how I don't get my wins that way. Okay, I get my cross up. I don't have massive payoff off of this. So I'm probably just gonna so happily put him at 5-card hand and also get rid of Joker. Bomber showing up. So I've got a 9 block. I've got a triple to power up into aces if I want to. Yeah, playing a little bit careful. Figure that it was fairly likely. Yeah, I power up the jacks there because they're not doing me a tremendous amount of good in my hand. I don't have a ton of value off of anything to do with the jacks. I need 10s in hand, I need 7, 8, and a lot of cards. And managed to, by powering up with the aces, I managed to bait a jack. Okay, he attaches single ace. Take a second to wait and see if it's any worse than that. No, just single ace, that's fine. Still quite tricky. But I feel like I can probably get away with poking out a high normal or a throw here. Either that or I can throw him. But I may elect just to block at this point. Oh, no, okay. Okay, take 20, but it's only 20. I figure he was going to try to block up behind that. Hits me with the 10 instead. Classic mix-up. Got a 10-card hand, but I don't want to play too many attacks. I don't really have an option of rock armoring here. Yeah, briefly consider the throw. Okay, set up a cross-up instead. Very, very close health-wise. My option here is cross-up normal with no rock armor backup, unless I go with a 7 cross-up. Or block this face card. Yeah, so go for odd cross-up. Get hit for 25, 35 if he chooses to and has a jack. I may... No, okay, no joker at all. Okay, just take the 35 damage. So not great. Throw away a high block as well. Just going in with damage to try to keep things relatively even. On fairly low hand, I can shoot, yeah, King is very tempting here, or Joker, but I think that him blocking is more likely. And manage to snag a block. He really wants to build to a healthier hand. Find the third ace. Keep up the throw pressure and instead get blown up for it. I elect to put a face down just because I've got 2 aces already. I'm not looking to hit Checkmate Buster here. I just need the threat of AA. Nice, land it. So defuse not only another 10, but also put him within lethal range. I have 2 spades, but I really need to. I would need to draw something pretty critical. Oh God, yeah. Ugh, these tens out of nowhere, and I am certainly going to joker this. Pretty much guaranteed he's going to follow up here. Yeah, I can't afford to be put at 4. Luckily, draw another joker, and now have, unfortunately, no lethal off of. So I have an awkward decision to make. I can try to hit him with the 7, rock armor with the 4 and the 2. Hope he plays something that he hope he doesn't play a 5. Actually, even if he plays the 5. Okay, this works out perfectly. So I'm going to take 10, but it's guaranteed he's going to follow this up. Yeah, and then I'm going to be able to rock armor for lethal. Oh no! All right, yeah. I had to discard. I had to discard the the damage to be able to get the rock armor through. So I choose to follow up with the jack because I need to put him at 5 so that I can block here for lethal. I think it's very, very likely that he's going to play a face card. Yeah. So managed to sneak my way to a win there. Yeah. Good lord. Really, really close match. Luckily, I'm able to navigate to the end there. Okay, we start off with a 9 here. Very likely that I'm going to play either the 2 or the king to throw this an early block and snag it, so that's nice. 6 is Onimaru's preferred block because it's really a slow, normal that doesn't deal a tremendous amount of damage compared to 8 and 10, and also isn't going to beat any blocks, really. Okay, throw my way into an ace, which is unfortunate. At least it's just the 1 ace. Decide to throw here. I think it's fairly likely that he's going to block up behind it this time. He did play a face card immediately the last time that I walked into, but I didn't think he was going to repeat that. And luckily I was right and didn't get exploded. So 9 blocking here to try to catch any kind of nonsense, and instead get thrown on wake up. So rude. Well played by AhhDee. Happy to be thrown there though. I lose a 9, but there's just not much payoff in that instance for Oni. Trying to poke out a high normal, because I have played soft to high normals twice in a row. Playing a throw and then a 9 block. Once again, 3 jacks that I can choose to power up with if I want. Defuse Clockwork Soldiers. So we're sitting pretty here. Go up to fairly high hand. We've got a Joker. We've got possibility of Checkmate Buster. We're going to make that real. So once again, my decision here is, do I immediately play it, or do I block up behind it? I go for immediately play it because I figure there's an even chance, or there's some chance that he's going to dodge or block here. Yeah. But he has played fairly safe around the possibility of sudden hidden Checkmate Buster, playing face cards with plausible Final Authority backup. So just a bad read on my part. And so now the The momentum is very much in his court. I'm really not sure why I'm playing these 10s if I'm going to... Yeah, okay, good. I wasn't sure why I played the last one, and ugh. Yeah, and really would have been disappointed in myself if I had played it there as well. Consider playing the Joker, but probably better to hang on to that. There is some likelihood that he may choose to dodge in the future. King throw finds its target, putting us on even life totals. I have 3 special blocks and 1 high block, which is nice. Possibly that I'm going to try to go for a low value or low possibility 10 throw. Does work, so we get some value out of that card, which is very nice. Very low cards in hand, so I'm going to play the 4 as a poke. It's I thought, fairly unexpected that I'm going to be doing anything like that. Unfortunately, run into a 3, so he builds hand and also evens things out. Still, I have a fair amount of blocks left. Okay, choose to go for Gold Burst. Catch a throw. Wipe some sweat off my brow. So yeah, I'm gonna pick spades and hearts, I think. Yeah. Spades and hearts because the 7 and the 8 are the likely rock armor targets. Once again, I should be thinking about immediate counterplay of face card with final authority backing. So this time I do play towards it. Get the sad payoff of dealing 1 damage. Could have gotten away with ace-ace there, putting him at 20 and within lethal range. More special blocks. It's like my deck is trying to tell me something. Go for the throw here because I still have ace-ace. And unfortunately run into queen. At least it was just queen. Again, very, very close life totals. Not much in the way of rock armor options. Yeah, here come the dodges. So this awkward moment where dodges are very, very low risk for him. Yeah, more dodges. This should be a signal that he does not have final authority to me. Oof. Run into king here. Have to think about face down. Yeah, so throw away the 4, which is going to be fairly low value. Either put him off or he just had single king. Either way. So if I can hit ace-ace, I then have some possibility of getting 8-jack-8 for lethal. Of course, 9 block also still very effective. As long as I don't get hit with a 10. Ooh, the baits though. Yeah, gotta put something in there. Decide to put the jack. Get hit for 10. Not looking good. 13 health. Do have some more face cards, or some more special blocks, but very, very awkward position. With him at 40 health, I really need 5s to be able to catch back up. The 3s dealing half as much damage. Against the character like Onimaru, very, very difficult to get around this. I figure another 5 attack is coming, and happily am correct. But again, no payoff. If those had both been 5s, he would have been at 24, and this would have looked much better. Or sorry, 24 and 19? Yeah, would have looked much better. Missed exactly what I played there. Okay, 4 attack. Trying to get around a high normal. Trying to signal the fact that I do not have an adequate block. I should probably be able to get away with a 9 block here. But I try to play around a throw. And even the 9 block, which is what I was really thinking about playing, would have lost me there. I put the Joker down just to stay in the game a little while longer, but this is effectively over. If he has a king, my hand is dead to it. So I'm probably going to play the king here. Yeah, no, I mean, it's checkmate. There was no. I was pretty confident that he had that he had the king he needed. So unfortunately, go down 3-1. Nicely played by AhhDee. Definitely reviewing this match showed me a couple of pretty big mistakes that I made in the late games of a lot of these matches, which I'm not too happy about. But you know, that's why we review our games, and I think I learned quite a bit from watching this playback. So congrats to AhhDee, and thanks everybody for watching. I'll be bringing you some more IYL action just as soon as I upload more commentary.